So I'm here on the shores of the Sea of Galilee, just over the hill from Nazareth, at the end of an epic journey, which started 2 months ago on the shores of a different sea, the Red Sea on the border with Egypt. And I've walked hundreds of miles on desert trails and dirt tracks and sandy beaches and forest paths. And although I've known some moments of real hardship, I've also experienced the kindness, both of friends who have joined me on the trail, but also of strangers who have taken me in and treated me like a brother. And when I say I couldn't have made this journey without them, I really mean it. There's been some moments when I could easily have given up. I remember when I came to Jerusalem, I was just over halfway, and I had friends from England came out to join me in from Sweden, and we travelled across to Bethlehem to meet some real heroes of mine for another documentary we're making, peacemakers in the land, and we heard their story, and it was such an honour to share with them what they're doing in this land, and it would have been a perfect place really to finish the journey. But when it was over, I had to continue up to Nazareth. And actually, looking back 2,000 years, Jesus would have experienced the same desire to stop in Jerusalem when he was coming back from Egypt as a child returning from exile. As he got close to Jerusalem and Bethlehem, his family, Joseph and Mary, were warned that Herod Archelaus, the son of Herod the Great, was ruling in his father's place, just as evil and dangerous. And so they went up to Nazareth on the kind of periphery of a region where it was supposedly a bit more safe. And so Jesus would have known what it's like as a child at the end of a long journey, tired and looking forward to coming home, just coming into land to be told, actually, no, we're going to go on for another 100 miles or so. And it would have been so demoralising, but that is the life of a refugee. It was then, and it still is. There are many dangers, and there are many setbacks and many changes of plan to avoid dangers at the last minute. And so Jesus would have experienced that. And when he got to Nazareth, it wouldn't necessarily have been easy then. For when his earthly father Joseph died, it would have been Jesus' responsibility as the eldest son to provide for his family. And I find it amazing that for the most influential figure in human history, he would have spent most of his life in obscurity, working hard with blood, toil, tears and sweat, just to put bread on the table for his mother and his brothers and his sisters. And so for people who know what it's like to work hard to provide for their own families, Jesus can say, yeah, I've been there. I know what that's like. And for the refugees who have known a traumatic journey and still many challenges when they get to their destination, Jesus can also say, yeah, I know that path as well. I've walked that one too. So I did this journey to raise money for probably the most vulnerable of refugees in this generation, people who have been tricked and trafficked into possibly a darker world than the one they left. And so I'm raising money for A21, an organisation who work on the front line in 11 different countries to rescue people who have fallen into the hands of human traffickers and take them out into a safe haven and a brighter future. So please click on the link below and make a donation to A21 on behalf of this journey. I didn't walk 500 miles for nothing. I walked 500 miles to raise money for an organisation who can do far more for refugees than I can. And so for me, at the end of this journey on the shores of the Sea of Galilee, just over the hill from Nazareth, this is where my journey is complete.